I got to say, we almost didn't start the show today because I'm enjoying, as the hearing, the Help Committee hearing goes forward. That's the Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions Committee, chaired by Bernie Sanders, goes forward in interviewing Howard Schultz. He is getting whinier and whinier. Later in the program, I had pre-recorded an interview with Michelle Eisen yesterday, organizing member of Starbucks Workers United. She was a 12-year, she had been working at Starbucks for 12 years. And had decided to leave, I think, prior to COVID because she felt like the company was treating the workers poorly. And it is an interesting dynamic when you talk to someone who has pride in their work, has a relationship, like an emotional attachment to a company, and then feels betrayed by the way they're being treated, and just happens to be approached by someone who was trying to organize a union. And this organizer, this is up in Buffalo, this is the original store that unionized. This organizer approached her like one of the last people that the organizer approached, because she thought, oh, well, this person has been here for 12 years. She has never had a single violation. You know, her working record was like pristine. And so, she was a company person. And, so this organizer thought like this could be a little bit risky, but they were friends. And it turns out, I have exactly the same feelings that you do about what's going on in this company. And that's how all of this started. So I think it was over 200 chapters, is it? Is it over 200 Starbucks or close to that have now unionized? Howard Schultz is in front of the Help Committee today because we are 450 days out from when that first place in Buffalo unionized, and they still don't have a contract. And Starbucks is doing all sorts of things, and you'll hear this organizer later in the program explain what they're doing to avoid negotiations. And Howard Schultz is like, well, we're doing our best. And there are, I think it's at least 80, maybe more. Is it like 100? I can't even remember what the number is. Of the stores? Of complaints. Oh, yeah. That the NLRB, and there are hundreds of pages of documents. This is just coming out of like one store, of violations of workers' rights. And Howard Schultz is like, they're all wrong. Here is Chris Murphy explaining to Howard Schultz, because Howard Schultz, I don't think he gets how he sounds when he speaks. Here's Chris Murphy explaining to him, this is what you sound like when you come here and say that the National Labor Relations Board has got it wrong, like literally dozens upon dozens upon dozens upon dozens of times.
Cases that have been brought against Starbucks for illegal firings, as you know, New York, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Kansas, Missouri, Washington, a decision out of Buffalo requiring you to reinstate workers, calling your practice egregious and calling your practices egregious and widespread and misconduct. You say you follow the law, but then, of course, this committee sees repeated evidence of NLRB orders forcing you to reverse actions that were on their face a violation of the law. So when you say you don't break the law, you abide by the law, you mean you disagree with all of these decisions from the NLRB? You think they got it wrong in all of those cases?
I think what you're talking about is allegations that we look forward to in the process to defend ourselves. But if I can give you one specific case,
but some of these are orders from NLRB judges to reinstate employees based upon violations of conduct. Do you think in all of those cases in which judges have required stores to be reopened or for workers to be reinstated, that they just all got it wrong?
Well, in Memphis, in every case. So in Memphis, as an example, We do have.
Well, I'm not actually looking for, I'm not,
I think it'll
I'm not
be-
looking to litigate each specific case.
trying to litigate it.
Just to clarify, when you say that you are abiding by the law, you mean that in every case in which an NLRB judge has ordered you to take steps to remediate actions, in every single case they've gotten it wrong.
We will follow the law and follow the judge's order, but we look forward.
Right, but the judge is making a finding that you have engaged in conduct that is not allowed by the underlying law, i.e. illegal behavior. In every case, you believe that the judge has got it wrong.
I believe the allegations will prove that Starbucks was correct. And I can give you a perfect example if you're willing to listen.
Sure, I'm willing to
Okay,
listen.
so let's take Memphis, which has been a clear, isolated case, but I think indicative of the process. Safety at Starbucks is critically important. We want to protect and preserve the safety of every one of our people. In 1997, we had a tragedy in Georgetown where 3 Starbucks partners were murdered. And so as a result of that, we have always taken safety very seriously. But after that, everything we do is about partner safety. Now in Memphis, a Starbucks person who agreed to join the union, after hours, opened up that store for activities that were not consistent with safety and procedures at Starbucks. No one should open up a store that is closed. The manager took a disciplinary approach and terminated that person. That person was reinstated. That is the fact. Safety is key at Starbucks. So we can't be held accountable for things that we believe under the procedures of Starbucks that are based on safety for our people. And that is a clear violation of our procedures.
I understand. I'm trying to square your testimony in which you insist that you rigorously follow the law.
Yes.
With overwhelming evidence from the organizations that are charged with enforcing American labor law that is not the case. It is akin to someone who has been ticketed for speeding 100 times, saying, I've never violated the law because every single time the cop got it wrong.
There you go. And that is his contention. Howard Schultz can come up with one example from afar where the judge didn't understand properly based upon his story. Howard Schultz is right there, his story. But literally, we're talking not just dozens. I mean, dozens upon dozens upon dozens upon dozens and hundreds of pages. And understand, too, when the National Labor Relations Board does this, they are painstaking about trying to make this ironclad because they know that Starbucks has an army of union-busting lawyers who are going to come in and fight these things. We're going to be talking to Michelle Eisen in just a little bit later in the program. We'll play more clips from this hearing. He was whining big time. And this is like a big day for really wealthy people to whine. We'll get a clip of Joe Rogan, who was upset about my proposal to bring back one of the key ingredients of the greatest expansion we've had of our economy during this country. But we'll talk about that later, probably in the fun half. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to be talking to Hannah Story-Brown, writer, researcher at the Revolving Door Project, about the Willow Project, which Joe Biden administration okayed just about a week ago. We'll be right back in just a minute.